What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, standard American here today to react and learn about how rich is Norway. Is Norway rich? Are you rich, Norway? No. I have learned a bit about Norway up until this point, and I know that the economy and trade of Norway, which apparently is largely based around oil, among other things, and they're very involved with lots of different inter-European councils and trade agreements, and the standard of living in Norway is really high, and Norway just seems really quite amazing and quite prosperous. So I would absolutely believe it if Norway was kind of rich. I don't know. That's a funny way to put it. Just like, and the sovereign wealth fund. Now that I think about it, that huge investment fund for all of Norway that just keeps growing and growing has like $1 trillion in it. So yeah, Norway, you're kind of rich. No. It's a good thing. It's a compliment. And I don't know what the average Norwegian, what their life looks like, and their personal wealth status, like on average. So I'm kind of interested if this video will touch on that or not. But anyway, let's find out.
You are watching Places. Every Tuesday, we bring you an insightful look into fascinating events from all around the world.
Okay.
How rich is Norway?
Yeah.
Welcome to alux.com.
How
the
rich are
place
they?
where future billionaires. A video brought to you by our team here at alux.com.
Okay.
Norway is a fascinating country for many reasons. It's freezing cold. They have some of the highest tax rates in the world, and the cost of living is also sky high.
I know they have a really good social welfare as well. They have high tax rates, but they take care of like everybody with social welfare, and a lot of people are really well off anyway. So anyway, I'll let the video speak for itself.
Yet Norway has been consistently recognized as one of the best places to live for many years.
Yeah.
What's their
Yeah.
secret? Well, the wealth of the nation plays no small part in the happiness of its people. And today
Right.
we're going to explore just how rich Norway really is.
Turns out, as you know, a lot of people might not like to think about it this way, but it probably turns out that if your country is very wealthy, your citizens are probably, on average, a bit happier. So, because of a variety of factors of how that would affect your society.
But first, let's cover the basics. Background.
Okay.
The Kingdom of Norway is located in northwestern Europe and is bordered by Sweden, Finland, and Russia. Norway
Right.
has 63,000 miles of coastline, which is the second most in the world behind Canada.
Wow.
Norway is a constitution.
I actually did not truly appreciate that fact, that it has so much coastline, but looking at the shape of it, I mean, look at it. It's almost entirely over 50% a coast, so that makes total sense.
Constitutional monarchy that functions as in the world behind Canada. Norway is a constitutional monarchy that functions as a highly developed democracy. Harold
Okay.
V of the House.
Yeah, I mean, Americans don't really understand how Norway's government works or runs, so this is actually pretty educational to me in terms of just understanding how Norwegian politics work. I didn't know for sure if it was some form of a democracy, but this is clearing things up for me.
House of Glucksburg has been king since 1991.
Oh, there is a king. Okay, right, like the narrator was saying. This is a constitutional monarchy, so there is a king, but I'm also guessing there are also elected representatives.
The Kingdom of Norway was formed in 872 and has existed continuously for over 1,145 years.
Yeah, wow.
Norway opted out of the European Union as a result of a referendum in November 1994. However, they
Right,
still
right.
take part in the EU's single market, and they significantly contribute to the budget of the European Union.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had learned a bit about this. Norway is not part of the EU, yet still plays a pivotal role, very important in trade and commerce in the EU. So they kinda get the best of both worlds, right?
Norway is consistently among the top-ranked happiest places to live in the world.
That says it all right there, doesn't it? Consistently one of the happiest places in the world. I don't care what you're doing at that point. I don't care if you're rich, poor, if you have certain political systems or not. If your people are the happiest on Earth, that says you're doing something right.
along with Denmark and Finland. In 2017, it claimed the very top spot on the list, which is published by the United
Wow.
Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, based
Wow.
on surveys conducted in 132 countries around the world. Norway ranks particularly high in the categories of freedom, generosity, honesty, health, caring, income, and good governance.
Oh my gosh. Norway just ranks high in every category like you could imagine that your citizens would want it to be high in. I keep saying Norway just sounds like an awesome place, like an amazing place to live. And the data backs it up.
They also have a strong economy, which is what we're taking a closer look at next.
Right.
Norway's economy.
Yeah.
Norway's economy is based on the Nordic model, which is also embraced by Finland, Sweden, and Denmark. This economic model puts an emphasis on social equality with a comprehensive welfare system, a high rate of unionization, and strong collective bargaining policies within workplaces.
Yeah, I love that. That's incredible. Norway places an emphasis on good for all of its people, making sure everyone is taken care of, everyone meets a certain standard of living. That's how you're going to get the highest possible average happiness amongst the most amount of people. I think that's fantastic.
Meaning that employees have a significant say in salaries, working conditions, and benefits. Norway stands out among the Nordic countries because the state has a stake in a large number of the country's biggest publicly listed companies, owning a
Really?
total of 37% of the Oslo stock market.
Wow, I didn't know that. So the government owns stake in about 37% of Norwegian big companies?
Publicly listed countries because the state has a stake.
The Norwegian state, has an enormous stake or ownership of Norway's most important companies. That's interesting. So there's a close relationship between Norway's biggest biggest companies and the state. So that's very interesting, and I guess it's how they get a lot of things done in regards to the whole social welfare system.
37% of the Oslo stock market. The state also owns and operates some of the largest non-listed companies, including the petroleum company Equinor and the hydropower company Statkraft.
Okay.
Norway is blessed with numerous natural resources, including oil and gas, fish, minerals, and forests.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of forgot about the fish. And minerals? What kind of minerals? And forests? Yeah, so this is all starting to make a bit more sense.
They're the second largest exporter of seafood behind China, and they're also one of the leading petroleum exporters worldwide.
Wow, I didn't know that. Man, Norway just has so much going for it. Incredible.
Their overall economy has experienced modest positive growth from 2010 through 2019 and is expected to continue this trend in the years to come.
I
The
bet.
Nordic model gives
I bet.
plenty of opportunities for economic success to all of its citizens, but some definitely end up benefiting more than others. Individual wealth.
Yeah, here we go.
Norway comes in at number 25 on Forbes' list of the countries with the most billionaires. Out of the 5.3 million people that live in the country, there are 15 billionaires.
Yeah, I guess for the amount of people in Norway, only 5.3 million people. There's over 300 million people in the U.S. 5.3 million in Norway. It has a large amount of billionaires, a large amount of success.
The richest person that lives in Norway is Odd Reitan, with a net worth of $6.1 billion. He's a
Okay.
self-made billionaire who owns one of the largest chains of grocery stores in Norway.
Huh. I've never heard of him. First name Odd, Reitan. Very interesting.
As of 2019, there are approximately 46.8 million millionaires in the world. About 163,000 of these millionaires live in Norway.
Wow. 163,000. out of 5 million people are millionaires in Norway. That's that's incredible, actually. I'm not sure what the percent is. 163,000. So we got about 5 million people. 5 million, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And about 163,000 millionaires. So 1 out of 30 people? Is that possible? 1 out of 30 people in Norway are millionaires? That's crazy. That's insane. And I mean amazing. Like, that's amazing. It's unbelievable. That's a measure of success that I think most countries on the planet would be jealous of.
That's about 1 in every 287 people. But
Oh,
beyond the
wait. 287 people? Even, I mean, that's amazing. Did I get a number wrong here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. I mean, I know it was kind of like that, right? 5 million people divided by 163. Am I doing the math wrong? Maybe I'm doing the math wrong. Okay, I'll listen to the narrator on this one.
Norway. That's about 1 in every 287 people.
Okay, I don't care if it's 1 in every 287 people. That's ridiculous. That's just as ridiculous. I mean, in America, I don't know what it would be, but I certainly would never expect to meet a millionaire out of every 300 people. That'd be crazy.
But beyond the millionaires and billionaires, Norway is the only major Western economy where younger generations are increasing their wealth, with millennials seeing a 13% increase in disposable income in 2018.
Wow, yeah, that's the opposite in America. The younger generations in America are having less and less financial success, more struggle, earning less than their parents earned. So America, that's actually a huge problem in America. And Norway is trending the opposite. That's fantastic. I mean, that's yet another thing that I'm jealous of, and huge respect to this level of success.
In just about every other major Western economy, millennials are not doing as well financially as the generations that came before them.
Yeah.
The average monthly salary is around $8,000 US, although salaries, of course, vary significantly from job to job, and a large percentage of salaries go to taxes.
8,000 a month. That's the average Norwegian salary? This is just blowing my mind. This just doesn't seem possible. It's so radically different than America. That's amazing.
Which brings us to our next topic: taxes and the welfare state.
Yeah.
The term welfare state may create a negative perception of a lazy workforce and free handouts from the government, but this is not the case for Norway.
Yeah, for some reason, in America, welfare does have a negative association with it. Maybe it's just certain ways it's done in America, certain preconceived notions that it's just giving free handouts to certain people, even though in the vast majority of cases, in almost all cases, the people in America who need welfare need it. They need it to survive. So it's actually very good that we provide that. But for some reason, it's become synonymous with laziness or something like that. You know, it's not good. It's not a good thing to that it has that perception in America. And I think Norway is doing it right, and is having massive success with it.
Their welfare system maximizes labor force participation, supports gender equality, and promotes income redistribution. It also encourages innovation by providing a social safety net for those who start businesses.
Cool.
In 2018, single Norwegian citizens with no children paid a personal income tax rate of 38.52%, while married
Wow.
couples with 2 children paid a tax rate of 23%, the
Wow.
5th highest tax rate for this category worldwide. There's also
Yeah.
a 25% value added tax for most goods and services. These factors combined give Norway one of the highest cost of living rates worldwide.
Yeah. Wow. These taxes are very high. But I think it kind of contributes to the massive social welfare success and the massive success of the nation's, average happiness. So I think it's working.
In fact, it's the fourth most expensive country to live in behind the Cayman Islands, Bermuda, and Switzerland.
Wow.
However, most Norwegians will tell you that these taxes feel more like an investment than a burden. In return for paying high taxes, Norwegians receive free healthcare, free education up to and including university tuition.
Oh my gosh, this just sounds like paradise. Just sounds like, and also it sounds like the culture of Norway. The people understand what their taxes are going to. They understand, achieving the common good for everyone, opportunity for everyone, prosperous prosperity for everyone. It's all kind of understood. That's why the taxes, and I think you could raise taxes anywhere on the planet, but it's the execution that Norway has really, really had high achievement with. Executing what they do with the taxes and actually providing good services and benefits to the people in a real way with the taxes that keeps everyone happy paying taxes. So it's a give and take where both parties benefit. So that's kind of the key, I think. That's the key.
Subsidized childcare, extended parental leave paid at 80% of the normal salary,
Wow.
paid sick and personal leave, substantial unemployment insurance, and retirement benefits.
Wow.
But if Norway is paying out all of these benefits, how much money is left over? For that, let's get to the question of the hour. How rich is Norway?
Ah, yeah, here we go. How rich is Norway? How rich are you? Spill it.
In order to understand just how wealthy Norway is, let's start with the gross national product. Norway's nominal GDP in 2018 was just over $434 billion. The figure that is better used to measure Norway's economy is the per capita GDP, which in 2018 was $81,695 US. This
Okay.
is the fourth highest per capita GDP in the world, behind Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Macau.
I was about to say, I need a little context for this to understand. So it's the fourth highest in the world per capita GDP. First of all, GDP, gross domestic product, the total monetary value of the finished goods and services provided. Yes, okay, so it certainly is a measure of sort of the economy and general financial success. I don't claim to know too much about per capita GDP, but I do understand that it's the fourth best in the world.
Fourth highest per capita GDP in the world, behind Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Macau. What's
Okay.
more, Norway, Luxembourg, and Switzerland are the only three countries worldwide that have a per capita GDP above $70,000 that are not
Ah.
listed as island nations or microstates. However, a
Okay.
better indication of Norway's wealth is the money that they have on hand. Norway has the world's biggest sovereign wealth fund.
This I have heard about. The Sovereign Wealth Fund, it's like an investment fund for the nation, and it's over $1 trillion. Imagine, the United States is in debt, like tens and tens of trillions of dollars to the world. And then you got Norway that has a positive cash flow of $1 trillion on hand. It's just totally different.
The Government Pension Fund of Norway, totaling over $1 trillion. The money in this fund, which was established in 1990, comes from investments made with the country's oil revenues. The
Right.
fund itself is 2.7 times bigger than the entire Norwegian economy and contains enough money to hand each citizen over $180,000.
What? I know they're not going to do that. But that's just crazy to even think that it would be possible. Oh my gosh. This is another thing that makes me jealous of Norway. Just a totally different financial situation than the US. And the US, prides itself on being such an economic power in the world. And most United States citizens have no clue about the financial status of Norway, kicking our butts in almost every way possible. It's mind-blowing to me.
The fund has increased due to strategic investments in shares, property, and bonds in 77 different countries. This investment fund actually has a stake in nearly 9,000 companies in these countries.
Wow.
Its biggest equity holdings include Microsoft, Alphabet Inc., Nestle, Apple, Amazon, and Royal Dutch Shell, which certainly helps explain its massive success.
Wow, that's really cool, actually. I do follow stocks a bit, United States stock market. Imagine being some of these companies like Microsoft, and it's just like, oh, Norway owns 5% of your shares or something. Like, that's so weird to think about, that a country's wealth fund owns a huge percent of massively successful corporations in the world. Like, that's just smart thinking in the terms of the Norwegian government. Whoever's handling this fund, they knew what they were doing. They're forward thinking. It's big brain. It's smart. 500,000 IQ.
A total of 37% of their investments are made in U.S. companies. What's more, Norway refrains from investing in companies that produce landmines, tobacco, and nuclear weapons. And in 2019, it was announced they would no longer invest in oil and gas stocks. The fund is managed by Norges Bank Investment Management on behalf of the Ministry of Finance, but the fund is officially owned by the Norwegian people.
Oh, it's owned by the Norwegian people. That's just, wow. Power to the people. Well, that's just probably another reason why the Norwegian people trust their government. That's a huge point of contention in America. Trust. If we had a huge wealth fund that we had planted 30 years ago, and it was technically the people's money, just there to grow and make America better, we would have a lot more faith in the government and their competency, which is probably what Norway has.
Was put in place primarily to put Norway in a good financial position so it didn't rely on oil revenues that would eventually dry up.
Yeah.
Norway officially has a little over $157 billion in public debt, but they're in a net asset position, meaning the total financial assets of the government exceed the total debt.
That's insane. So they really are, they're essentially out of debt. They have more money than that they owe, which couldn't be further from the truth for America. We are massively in debt. Norway is not in debt, and everything is awesome. So, yeah, I'm ready to pack it up. Norway sounds pretty good about now.
Essentially, they borrow money at low rates and then reinvest.
Yeah.
Conclusion. Norway has secured its position as one of the richest countries in the world thanks in part to its high tax rates, strong economic model, and bountiful natural resources. However, the main factor in its wealth accumulation has been the strategic investment of oil revenues, which is providing economic security for many years to come, even after all the oil is depleted.
Wow.
Norway is indeed one of the happiest places to live on Earth because the government invests in its people and ensures the taxes, high as they may be, benefit each citizen to the highest extent.
Exactly.
Because of all of these factors, Norway will likely maintain its status as a wealthy nation for the foreseeable future. And Aluxers, if you're interested in learning some more about this fascinating country, check out our video, The 15...
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. From Alex.com. I liked that. I liked your video. Very nice. Wow. I learned quite a bit from this video. I had already had a pretty positive idea in my mind, positive connotation of Norway, and this just amplified it. I think Norway is awesome. The people in charge of a lot of what Norway does are very competent, very smart. And the relationship between the Norwegian government and the people is so great. That's the part that really almost makes me sad for America. Because I see what's possible now. Such a wonderful relationship where there's such tangible benefits being given to the Norwegian people in a very, constructive, very planned out and thoughtful way where it works no one gets screwed over that I know of. I mean, this is all a generalization. I think I know what I'm talking about, but I could always be wrong on certain things. But from what I can tell, sounds like the average Norwegian person is in a great spot, living in a great place. It sounds like they all kind of know it. They all kind of know how awesome it is. So I they have my utmost respect and admiration. I think we could all be a bit more like Norway. And anyway, that was very, very interesting. So, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway, culture, news, events, things, places, ideas that I never knew, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.